There we go. Okay, Mayumi, I'm going to hand it over to you first, all right?
Okay, so my name is Mayumi Vanderpool, and I am the Area 2 Assistant Governor. I'm very excited today that Ainsley agrees to do the presentation for us. Ainsley is the president of Nelson Noon Club, and she has been using the DACdb system very effectively to promote her club during the past year. She sent out a weekly news bulletin to her club members, and she promoted her club on Facebook and Instagram, all through DACdb. Today, Ainsley is going to share her experience and knowledge with us. Sorry, Ainsley, make me nervous too. Thank you for agreeing to do the presentation for us, and I really appreciate it. So, Ainsley.
Awesome. Thanks, Mayumi. So today, I really wanted to make sure it wasn't just a slideshow of how to use programs, because DACdb has a great resource section where you can actually go through and find out how to use all their stuff. So after the meeting, I'll send out where you can find everything. And if you need to go through and do the step-by-step to get your own bulletin set up, get your own website portion set up, you can use that. DACdb is great for those resources. For tonight, I really just want to show you what we've done and the capabilities that there are within the systems. So you can personalize whatever you want to do for your club, but figure out what is possible. Okay. And it's definitely open to questions. So put your hand up. I'd rather be interactive than just me talking at you. Okay. So before I do start, I did have just a few questions for the group. Is there anyone in the club or in the meeting already not using DACdb? Or everyone's on board? Wayne, your club is still slow?
Yes.
Okay. I know I'm pretty sure I did talk to a few of your members just about moving forward at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So this will give you a bit more information.
Okay.
Now, and are there any, oh, Allison, your hand's up.
I'm having difficulty. A lot of the side bars on DACdb is asking me for codes, and I don't know, like events is asking me for an event code. So I can't see anything. And another sidebar is giving me the same message. That's why I'm stuck.
Oh, that's interesting. Allison, what we can always do is we could take this offline and I could see if I can troubleshoot with you.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Okay. And then the other question, is there anyone here whose club does not have a website? Sort of, Jeremy?
we have a Facebook site, but that's about it.
Okay. So not an actual website.
No.
Okay. So that's one of the great things about DACdb is because it is all integrated. So what you do in the DACdb side of things can be projected onto a public website. So it really does make it easier to share with the community and with your club members. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen and just sort of show people where I go through to get into DACdb and what features are in there. So let's see if I can get all of my many screens open to the one I want it to go to. Let's try this. Okay, can you guys see my screen? Hopefully.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So I'm just going to pull this somewhere where it's tucked out of the way. Okay, down there. So when I go into anything, I'm typically going to the Rotary District 5080 website first, because this will get me to my regular login as a DACdb registrant. And I always like to know what the district is doing. So I go there first because I already know what my own club's doing. So in the upper right-hand side, there's the DACdb login. And that's going to pull me right to my club's homepage. And this shows all the things that can happen on our homepage. Okay. And within there, like this technically is going to be broadcast to the to our regular website, but this is where we build everything out to go into our public facing website. So I just want to flip to our actual website so you can see that things are actually there. So on the internal side of things, we've got, I just posted yesterday about our Canada Day barbecue, and that's been output into our Rotary Club of Nelson website. Okay, so it is all integrated, so you're not having to do multiple components. I'll just bop
How
back
did you,
here.
how did you get to this page first? I didn't.
Sure, yep, no problem. So we're at the Rotary District 5080 website, and then there's the DACdb login just at the upper side. So if you've never logged into DACdb, you're going to have to put in your user ID and set up a password. You will have a power user within your club. And if you don't, Case, are you the power user for the district?
Yep, thumbs up.
Okay, perfect. Perfect. So if someone needs,
What's a power user?
just means that they've got full administrative rights.
Okay.
In our club, it's Norm and myself. So if we need to go in and make any changes, all of us can do it. Typically, there's the secretary usually has most functions, and then whoever's the website master, I guess, and then the power users, which are going to be people who are in there doing newsletters, adding events, all of that stuff. So when we're in our sort of home page, just for our DACdb side of things, this is where we get to input all of our club information that is broadcast on the website. So for example, I'll go to my club, and it's going to give us all these different screens here. And this is going to allow us to fill things in. So for instance, calendar, we can go in here and add any events that we have. So coming up, we've got our year-end celebration at the Rotary Shelter on Friday. I added that. We've got our Canada Day barbecue, so that's down here. And if I flip back to our website, that's all going to project out here. Oops. So we've added club events and speakers for our upcoming meetings. So everything we do in DACdb can translate right into our website.
Where did the calendar go when you went to the website? I don't see the calendar.
So the calendar itself disappears. Well, the calendar is here. So you can click on anyone that's underlined. There should be some sort of event happening, but it pops up showing our upcoming speakers and club events.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, so especially if you've got lots of things happening on one day, then you're not having to just look at the regular calendar. It's all in writing.
Yeah.
I find the more visual you can be, the easier it is for club members and potential prospects to see what's going on. Okay, any questions so far? Go ahead.
Ainsley,
Yeah.
I'm really behind with all this. So if I want, for instance, July the 10th,
Yep.
some event. So
Yep.
how do I do it? How do I enter?
Sure. Here we go. So we'll just go up here. So let's go back to we'll go back to the start. We're going to go to my club. We're going to go to calendar.
Yeah.
Okay. And then there's a add event function in the upper right-hand corner.
Okay.
So we'll just add an event. Lets you fill in whatever you want it to be. You can specify it's a club meeting or a club event, club fundraiser. And whatever category you pick is going to change where it populates on the website.
Mhm.
But you can tinker around with that. You can have as much information as you want in the description. So if you got someone who's really exciting coming in for a speaker, you could add extra information in there. And then it's going to ask for location and dates. So it really is easy. It walks you through. If you miss something, it's going to bump you out and you won't be able to finish it until you complete whatever's highlighted.
Mm. Okay, you don't have to save it, just enter, and it will be saved.
Once everything's entered, it would give you the option to actually add event. Like you click on the add event and it will populate saying event added.
Okay.
And within that function, I'm just going to do a fake one because there are other things that populate. I'm going to change it to a fundraiser. because there are other things you can add in there, like a Zoom link or ticket sales. Let's just do this for right now. One time, and we're going to just set this up, add event. Okay, so here it gives you the option to, I'm gonna just double check here. There's a location one, you can change location, so it's all obvious. RSVP links, some people use that if you're doing club events, so you're signing people up. And whoever has control over the actual event. So there are different things there. We don't use it too much. One thing I do use is the Zoom link. For instance, all of our club meetings, the Zoom link is the same every week and it's included in the actual event posting.
So you have a homepage that's internal, that is really total information for club members, and then you judiciously choose what's going on your website. And based on how you've input it, what you actually, as soon as you say add event, that is the door that opens to go to the website? Or does that also go to both?
It is the door to the website, but you can have specific things restricted from being out in the public eye. Yeah,
So
you
that's
can
just one of those drop-down menus then. So as soon as you
That's
say
right.
add an event, you start to choose where it's going to go, what it's going to be under, and all of that. So it's for club members, but also for the public.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
So you could have your members signing up for the highway cleanup through here.
You can, yeah. And for if there's any members that are actually in the States in 5080, there are options on there to add ticket sales, which I did talk to the DACdb team to see if Canada would have the option, say using Apple Pay, but they don't have that functionality yet. I was trying to get away from having to pay fees to Eventbrite.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, yeah. So that's just that's the calendar side of things. And it does feed into further documents within the DACdb program. For instance, with the newsletters, it's going to give you the option to populate how many events in the next upcoming month or 2 months that you want to have included in the newsletter. So it really is all integrated. So maybe I'll just give you a little idea as, oh yeah, the Club Easy stories. So this is how I build out stories that can be posted on our website and can be drawn into our newsletter. And if I really want it to be, it can be posted onto Facebook. So it's a really easy way to save time. So if you know you have 5 things you specifically want to have in the newsletter, you can have, you can pre-prep it. Essentially have the easy stories all done. They can be done by multiple people too. It doesn't have to be one person, but then you can select which story you want to pull into the newsletters or post onto the website. So it is quite user-friendly and it lets you personalize things how you want. So just for example, with our easy stories, I'm just going to sort based on story date because we've had quite a few. So you have different features. You can show it on the website, you can show it on the home page, it can go into bulletins with the bees. I don't know what that is, but you can do lots of things. So I'll just click on this one so you can see what we've just done here. So we just did a nice little story, which you saw was posted to the homepage, which I will pull up here just so you can see it went to the public.
Sorry for cutting in.
Yeah.
So I click the easy story and then it will bring to which page?
So once you create the story itself, as long as you've activated it so that you can see it on all sorts of the different programs. Actually, I'll just add a story here, Mayumi, so we can take a look here. So you've got the options to show the story in the website, homepage, dashboard, easy bulletin, e-meetings. Typically, anything you still want to be just internal within the club, I would only post as a easy bulletin because then you can pull that to the newsletter. If it's something that you want the public to see, that we've got our Canada Day barbecue happening to, I'd post to the website, I'd post to the homepage and the easy bulletin. So all three of those resources are going to get plugged with that information.
Linda's
And-
got her hand up.
Sure. I'm sorry. I can't see because I've minimized everything.
Yeah, I'll tell you.
Perfect.
Linda.
So my question goes back to finances. So if you feel like that you don't want to address it right now, but you'd rather address it later, that's okay. But what I was wanting to ask is the club, if you like click on club finances, I'm trying to click on it so that I can ask my question.
Yep.
We actually collect through Square, you know how you said Eventbrite?
Yep.
Does this hook up through Square, or is it just
No, it
whatever
does.
DACdb is doing?
Yeah, it does not hook up through Square, and that was part of my question, because I think every club is now trying to move forward where you have some sort of debit or credit payment for any events or clubs members paying their dues. So unfortunately, at the moment, the Canadian side of the clubs aren't able to use the finance module in that sense.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
I have a question too.
sure. Yeah.
Sheila's on the call. She's in our club and she does an amazing amount of communication, newsletter, and so on, including the Rotary at Work page in our local newspaper.
Yeah.
So maybe Sheila, you might be ahead of me on this, but when Sheila does an article for the newspaper, she could use this tool, and that same information that she just put time and energy into could also go to the various other places that you would want them to go.
Absolutely. Yeah. Using the Easy Story would get it to the website, to the club members through the Easy Bulletin, and could be posted to Facebook.
Yeah, and Facebook, even Facebook.
Yes.
And then what about if I wanted to send it to the Nelson Daily News? Is it a file that you save and you could send it?
I'm not sure about that. Well, let's take a look here. Because we do have options. I don't think there's an option.
Usually I just send a link to the public facing website to the Nelson Daily News. They write articles off of websites or news releases all the time.
Yeah,
You could cut and paste it in a Word.
cut and
document.
paste for
Yeah.
sure.
We have a whole page, and so the two clubs contributed to it once a month.
Hmm.
We're very lucky.
Well, we appreciate you doing all that work, Sheila.
It's okay, you're going to be doing it next month.
I am.
Oh, no, this month, sorry.
When's that due by? The 24th?
Yeah.
Okay.
Annie's got lots of material. She won't be short of any material.
I'll find something to put in there. Let's see here. What should I go to here? We want to make this interactive. So maybe do we want to show just the way the bulletins work and what I'm able to pull from DACdb into a bulletin?
Sure.
Okay. So if we go to a club bulletin, see, we've got all of these ones that I've done previously, and I'll just pull up the one I did I did that one on Tuesday. So this is how our bulletin looks. Every club, you're able to personalize it how you want, where you position the Rotary logo and your club name. There are sort of presets to that, but you can pick different colors as long as they're within the Rotary color scheme, and you can personalize it however you want. For us, we wanted it to be as least wordy as possible. So we're trying to do lots of pictures, trying to get people engaged, say, hey, oh, wait a second, I did this, or this was a fun item. So we try to keep the news stories really short, so that people have 5 minutes to take time, read what's going on, and then move on. So anything that's really new, I always make sure I put at the top. So Canada Day, that's coming up. We've got a volunteer opportunity. I am a little bit on the younger side, so I like to use, I don't know if they're called GIFs or GIFs or whatever they're called, but they're interactive ones. So I try to add a bit of humor to our newsletters.
The gift, because it's graphic something.
Yeah. And then if there's any special reminders, I'm always trying to pester some of the other members, say, hey, what do you want me to add to the newsletter? Because no club should have just one person providing information for the newsletters. It should be a well-rounded newsletter that covers all the bases of what's going on in the club. And then I also always want to include district and international information because we're an international organization. So with the way DACdb works, I can actually pull published stories from the district website and add them to our club newsletters. So members are staying up to date on local, international, and all of that stuff. So I grabbed a story from DG Linda because she's off to Belize. And then there's a book club that I was interested in. So I thought, hey, maybe someone else would be interested. And then based on the calendar information that I'd already entered, it pulls all of these items right into the newsletter. So you don't have to retype it. And then the other component is we've also added pictures of our club leaders. So people have a face to the names because their names are coming out in emails regularly. And then you can personalize it, like whenever we do a special event where we've got lots of people together for once, we'll try and get a group photo. So I try and mix up what the group photo looks like at the bottom. Just see if I have.
Can you
Yeah,
go
go
back?
ahead.
There was a section where you had events automatically populate.
Yep.
So what you're saying is whatever you have on your home page that's coming up, you don't have to pick it. It's just upcoming events go into the bulletin.
That's right.
Fundraisers go into the bulletin. So it's just this automatic rollover of pending upcoming things. Okay.
That's right. Yeah. And you can pick a section of events. I think it automatically defaults to only a month, but most of us, we have farther looking events. So I try and do at least 2 months. And if there's anything significant, so say when your guys' international dinner is coming up, I would be posting about that 3 months in advance, just to make sure that everyone is aware that it's going on.
You have stats for who visits and who views, right?
Oh, yes, I do.
And
Which is a great thing. Club members don't realize that we have as much access. So if I go back, if I'm going to go here, I'm just going to figure out where that one was. P-mail. So technically it's all sent out through here. So the Rotary Buzz, I can see I sent 53 emails on Tuesday night and 37 have read. So 70% right now. But I'm looking at high importance stuff. 80% of people are reading.
that's really good that you know that, because you know we can put in so much effort, nobody's looking at it. You just need to know.
Exactly. So it is really good stats. And for anyone who missed that, where I was just flying through it, that was P-mail. So that's our regular email system.
So,
And you can just go to tracking. And it is fun sometimes to call out members when I know they haven't read newsletters. I'll ask during the meeting if their computer's broken, especially if they're asking questions that I know was answered in the newsletter.
Oh, so I didn't catch that. You see the individuals that have read it. It's
Oh,
not just
yeah.
the number.
Let's see.
Woo!
Let's see this one.
Big Brother is watching.
They are. Yeah. Yeah. So we see all the read.
Oh, there I see. Yeah.
Yeah. And you even see when they did it.
Oh my goodness. I'm not sure if I like that one.
could
So
you show us how
Mhm.
we can transfer article from Rotary district website
Mhm.
to our news bulletin?
For sure. So we're going to go to the Club Easy Bulletin. And what we're going to do is we are going to create a new bulletin. So if you've never created a bulletin, it's going to make you create a template. But again, this is using DACdb's user guides to create the whatever you want it to look like. So we already have one. So I'm just going to grab the advanced build, which is what we use because we're putting extra things in. So it's going to show body stories, which is going to be things that will make up the newsletter, but district stuff is always really close to the bottom. I don't know why. So if there was a particular story that interested me on the district website, like this is where they're all published. So for instance, I had seen that the book club was there. So I knew that information was there. So in my newsletter, I made sure that I could find the story, the book club. You just pull it over and I'll just grab one of our stories here. I'll just grab that one there. And you can shift where you want the stories. but yeah, it automatically went to our club first. And then we'll just scroll down here. And then, so this is the event layout. So start date and an end date. So you can always change the date on that. Event types. If you don't want to have, if there's no fundraisers, you can remove that, but it just gives you the option and you can personalize it however your club prefers. For club leaders, it does give a whole bunch of different options too. So I would just recommend playing around with that until you find out what you guys like best for your club. But I'll just show how it pulls information.
Can you copy and paste into there?
No,
Okay.
no copying and pasting. Because you've selected stories, I'm going to select my stories here again. This was Al Bacon. He was turning 92 last week. And then I'll just grab a, grab anything here. I'll just grab anything here from the district. As soon as you hit build it, because we've got these selected stories, it's going to pull it over.
Okay, so I have a question, Ainsley. Lynn O'Connor puts out a call for stories for the district digest.
Yeah.
So can you download those automatically?
The article.
Keep them in your bulletin, or can she not look at bulletins and then load stuff up automatically?
So with the district bulletin, I don't know if Lynn has access to all of our individual stories.
Okay,
The district makes their information public, but I don't know if our individual club's information is specifically made available to the district.
okay.
Or maybe she's trying to filter through because there are so many great things that are going on and she's not quite sure what to pick.
Well, she usually asks for people to send her stuff. So I was
Yeah.
just wondering, because if you're able to do all this, I'm surprised that she's not able to too.
Yeah.
If we
Yeah.
can pull from them, why can't they pull from us, kind of thing?
Exactly. And then for me, I always like to have lines in between stories. So I just add lines if you need them. And then I do add a separate spot there saying district and international, just to make it very clear that it's not specifically our club. And again, pictures are always the best policy in my book. This story would have been too long. I never would have put that in my newsletter. It's too long. No one will get to the end of it. And then there's the events. And then we've got a few extra club leaders on here, and I just get rid of the ones that I don't want. Not that I don't want them, but I don't want too many to take up the whole thing. But that's just a little sample of how you can pull information from your own easy stories and then from the district easy stories.
You said that there's some resources on DACdb for
Yep.
training.
Yep, let me pull this
Recorded
one up.
visual training.
Yeah, this is visual training. So within DACdb, there's the support and learning.
Oh, you just pulled it up. Okay.
Yeah, I made sure I had it because I used it when I was learning how to do it myself. And then there's the new Easy Bulletin. There's 2 really good videos there, which I find super useful. And then when you're busy working on stories, there's a story tab as well, and all sorts of different learning in there. So DACdb has done a great job of doing step-by-step instructions on how to do things. So you can personalize it. And yeah, this is sort of me just showing how we've integrated the DACdb systems to be able to provide information to our members and to the public.
So Ainsley, you've really chosen the right way to present this, because you're just whetting our appetite, and we're not going to know every single step, but we know where to go to practice. Yeah.
So I have a question too, because I know yesterday they were doing a training session. I had sent a request to DACdb as to whether they had any training for people working at the district level. Okay, and I guess they're having a series of webinars. I don't know where to go to find out where they are. Like she said, it's recorded, but I have to figure out how to find out what's recorded and where and when. Of course, Case probably knows this.
Yeah.
Do you know
Case
where to go for that, Ainsley?
Is it in the support and learning 2 case?
Yes, go to, where are we here? DACdb training on the top left. No, no,
Right at the top.
over
Oh, yeah, here we go.
We're further,
DACdb training, there we go.
DACdb University Tuesday training
Ah,
And is that every Tuesday, Case?
every Tuesday. And so if you scroll down, these are all going back to 2020. And right now at the very bottom of this list, they're dealing with year-end stuff, I believe. Yeah.
yeah, so really DACdb has done a great job about providing training sessions, but again, Sheila, you didn't know where to find it. I didn't know where to find it. So it's about all of us trying to work together to figure out how things work.
If you can just scroll up for a moment, Ainsley. And go left arrow with the top left to go back.
Yep.
That might be something that Lynn should be putting
If
into
you
the
go down to
Digest.
DACdb training,
Mhm.
and now go to officer training. So
Okay.
this is really for secretaries of clubs. There's so much information here on the key topics here on the right-hand side. People should go through those, especially new secretaries. And just for your information, I am the initial go-to person for DACdb questions. And I've been working actually with both the Nelson clubs today, with Peggy and with Jeanette. And I work with many of the other clubs as well. When they have an issue, they phone me up or email me, and I will either help them solve the problem or I will get them the resources that they need.
Yeah, you've been super helpful, Case, and very available. So thank you.
Awesome.
I wanted to ask a question too.
Yeah.
For sure.
I know that there's the ability to file our financial reports, our notes on events, like a central storage of club information. Where is that? Like a virtual filing cabinet?
So there's the club files here. I don't know if our club has subscribed to it. Looks like you can do stuff. So I'll just go back here so we can see. That's club files.
Yeah.
And it looks like you can have stuff here. We haven't used this. We use we have a Google Drive that we've been using to store all stuff. Maybe I should take a look at this. Maybe
Yeah,
that's
that makes me.
my
Yeah.
past
So-
president duty.
So just on the top left, you see public and secure.
Yeah.
If you go to secure, that's only for your members, and it looks like nothing is, oh no, you do have something.
So it's zero space views
Oh,
though.
okay, I'm not sure then.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is the place where you can store your history. And there's, I think, 6 levels of drilling down. So just like your regular file folder system, you can do the same thing here.
And Case, are
this-
there any restrictions on type of files? Like, can it be a PDF, Excel spreadsheet, a Word document?
It can be any of those, but you'll notice there that you cannot have those names in red.
Oh. Okay, those are interesting word
Okay.
choices that are forbidden.
And also for uploading, I think you have to be careful with spaces and periods and that kind of stuff. I can't remember the exact thing, but it'll show you.
That
Okay.
was a really big deal for our club because, when the treasurer changes, where are the previous, what software did they use? All those inconsistencies.
Hmm.
But also we've just got all these longtime dedicated members that have important information. And I'm excited that we can have it in one place, because if that person leaves or something happens, it's like, where's that information? It's not available to the club. It's not accessible by the club.
Exactly.
So we really do plan to use this.
Now I just see a question.
So is there a secret way you should file it? Should you be using the date of the document first and then the name?
I think you could sort by either of those. But does it capture the date and then the name? Is there training for this subject in the university lineup? Todd's joined us and he's got his hand up actually.
Todd, welcome.
Yes, well, I've been kind of sitting here stealthily. I'm driving today. We use this the files extensively. Everything goes in there. I'm a big paperless person. And the thing is, you can put anything in the secure files, and then it's secure, of course, where no one can see it other than club members. And someone had asked about PDFs and Word and that. If you put a PDF in there and someone clicks on it, it'll open up in another window. If you put a Word document in there, it'll have to download onto the computer. So if you've got a document you want people to read, if you can convert it to a PDF, it's going to be a lot more convenient.
Oh, that's good to know.
Great.
Thanks, Todd. I didn't know that.
Whatever you want, name it whatever you want, and it'll just pop in there. But the most recent one will go up on top usually of your file.
Does a date show so that you don't have to label it with the date?
It'll have a date on there of when it was. Everything gets dated for whatever you do.
Good. So we just need a label. We just need to say what it is.
Yeah, you
Title.
can put a date in there. Now you can also make a folder. So you can put a folder that's like membership, and inside the membership, I've created folders for the different positions on our board. So let's say membership chair, and you open that, and I've got several files in there, like templates and tools and instructions for whoever's the membership chair. So when you get a new membership chair, you can send them to there, and then they can pull that up, and they have all the documents that people have used over the last however many years that you've had those in there, so that they can hit the ground running and kind of follow. You're not having these board meetings where you're repeating things all the time. Everything's in there. You save it, you put it in there, and you can have minutes.
And so you can have board minutes, you can have financial statements, so that you don't have a whole list of things where you have to look for something. So create folders. Oh,
you can have file. It's just like a file cabinet.
Yeah,
Exactly like a file cabinet. But if you don't put it in the secure files, it will be available to anybody that goes to your website and looks under files. They can usually access, so if you want public files, like for instance, let's say you want to have a document or sign up sheet or something like that. You put that in the public file, and then you can add it in a tab in your website, which I'm sure Ainsley will get to, or that may be a whole nother meeting. But that'll show up on your website under its own tab and accessible to everybody in the world that goes onto your website.
it says secure, but everyone has access. So
Only you got public and secure. If you put it in public, everybody's got it. Secure, only members.
only members. So if a member goes in and accidentally erases something, it's gone. Like there's no control of who of the members can tamper with that stuff.
That's true. It depends on. I mean, you can lower their you can lower them down to like level 1 security, so they can't do that kind of thing. So if you've got a member that doesn't really know what they're doing, or they want to be malicious or something, you're going to want to keep an eye on that. But yeah, you're right. If someone has all the permissions, well, they can really monkey with things. But we would hope the 4-way test gets in the way of that.
Is it backed up anywhere?
Yes, it is.
Well,
DACdb backs up everything.
On cloud or something like that?
So in the past, I have made some catastrophic errors, and they have uncatastrophed them for me.
Okay, that's all awesome. Thank you.
So just a note on dates there, the date that's shown on the file is the date that it was last modified, not the date it was created.
Good point. So you might want to put the date in the label.
Okay. Any other questions about File Manager? Okay, I just want to circle back to the Easy Bulletins just to show you how you can email the completed bulletin out to your club members, because that's what we use our bulletin for first and foremost, is to make sure our members stay up to date. So once you've completed the bulletin and it's how you want it to be, there's going to be a spot that you hit publish, and that pulls it down into the published section here. And there's a P-mail that's right beside the email, right beside the newsletter. So if you just click on that and send P-mail, that's going to pull up all of your current members. for us, we also have some other member types that we like to include in our newsletters. Like we've got guests and honorary, and typically there's potential members in there too. So you can add anyone who's already in your system to get the newsletter update. We do have quite a few honorary members who are technically past members, and we're still wanting to make sure that they're still included. This includes a few widows of some of our members, so they're still staying involved in Rotary, and we've actually got 2 of them coming to our year-end wrap-up potluck on Friday. So it's trying to make sure that the Rotary family is still staying in touch with what's going on.
I have a question.
Sure.
It's not in line with what we're doing, but it's a
That's all right.
more basic question that keeps running in my mind. We've had Club Runner,
Mhm.
and what is or isn't happening with Club Runner in relation to this ability?
So Club Runner, I don't think exists much anymore, right?
Oh, it is, but not in our district. There's only 7 clubs that are still using Club Runner.
Yeah. I certainly never used a newsletter function on Club Runner. Case, was there actually that functionality?
Honestly, I can't remember. I think so.
I have used the newsletter on Club Runner. Yes, there is functionality just like you're talking about.
Okay, and does it stream through to the website?
We did not have a website that was made by Club. Well, actually, we did. Yes, it does. It does. Tacoma 8 still uses Club Runner, and that's the club I'm thinking of, even though I'm not in that club now.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't have enough familiarity with Club Runner. I'm relatively new.
It's actually very similar.
Ace, do you have your hand up?
Yes.
I'm the hand up.
I'm trying to remember why. Oh, yes, I remember. Ainsley.
Yes.
In terms of time commitments, how long did it take you really to learn? How many hours? And how long does it take you to put out a newsletter? Because people want to know how much, if they're going to learn this, they got to know what to expect.
Sure. So when I first started learning how to do the newsletters, tinkering around with it was probably 5 hours just for me to get things how I want it to be. Last night, when I was putting together this newsletter, I timed myself and it was 19 minutes. Part of that is because I like to add extra pictures and do those sorts of things. But if all of the stories are already built into those bulletins and you've got all of your calendar events added in there, it's a very easy newsletter generation. And if I spend more than half an hour on it on a weekly basis, I've done too much.
And did you learn it all yourself, or did you go through the learning modules or videos, or did you ask DACdb for help?
So I am a hands-on learner. So I tried to break it. And then if I didn't know how to do it, then I went through the learning modules. But I definitely referenced those videos. They were super helpful. And yeah, I'm a hands-on learner, so I wanted to get dirty and see what I could break.
And when you
So
think,
my last question then for you, Ainsley, is are you okay with people contacting you for assistance in what they're trying to do with this kind of stuff?
For sure, for sure. So really, we want to make sure that every club is able to contact people in the most appropriate manner for their club. And really, I'd be recommending that at least have 2 or 3 people in the club that are able to do these things. So if it's a matter of someone becoming a power user and having questions, so I can help them out with that, and then they can further teach their club, that's great.
and look at the time when you do the newsletter and then it ripples to Facebook and it ripples to website. So you're accomplishing so much more than just a newsletter in that 10 minutes or 19 minutes.
Exactly. And then I'll just show you the weekly bulletins on our website. It populates right at the very top. So anyone can go in and have a look at it. and it's a PDF, so it'll just pop up.
So can you click on that
Yeah,
just to show?
yeah. There we go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And sometimes the pictures don't quite populate right with the PDF, depending on your computer system. But if people are getting it via their email, all the pictures will populate properly.
What determines the sequence of the stories in the middle?
You pick them. So when you're designing the bulletin, whatever stories you're picking for the body of your story, you can pick. So let's just pull a few of these over here. And if we just pull those ones over and we decide, you know what, we want this donation to be at the top,
Okay,
just
that's
move it up to the top.
very good.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's super easy. You do have the option of publishing them to the to Facebook as well, which I actually don't do. And where did that functionality go? I don't put the PDF version onto Facebook. Because Facebook is not intended to put a giant document into it. Facebook is very much intended for pictures, so you can see people doing exciting things and just having a very short story. But if you've got Facebook, it's going to be linked to your homepage. So I'm going to go back to the Nelson Rotary Club, and at the top here, there is a Facebook little button here up in the upper right-hand corner. So if we click on that, anyone from the public or from our members can click on there, and that'll pull up our Facebook page.
So can you put links into Facebook on the sort of read more basis?
That's right. That's right. Oh, and that's the other thing with the newsletter. If there is a spot where someone can go and buy tickets, or if there is, say you've got your guest presenter that's coming up and they've got a website that people can go to and check out information ahead of time, I make sure to hyperlink all of those items in the newsletter. So members just have to click on the hyperlink and it will take them to the next spot. So they're never having to type in something else. They can just click on it.
Right.
Yeah. So this
So-
is sorry, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, Ainsley, even though you said you didn't publish the newsletter to Facebook, you are publishing the easy stories, right? Because that was where the Facebook link was, I believe.
Right. Yeah. So you've got the option of doing that. And so we haven't been doing that because I try and limit what we put on Facebook. But you can certainly link it through here if you wanted to share it. Our Facebook really, we do minimal posts, but trying to get the most impact. So just for instance, today I had an email from Dave Buss, and he and his wife were off traveling all over Europe, and they're in England, and they managed to run into two of our other members. So I thought that was something fun to sort of put on Facebook.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah. So, and just a little bit of something going on there. We try and do content every week, 1 or 2 short stories into Facebook. And then I'm always trolling other Facebook pages of other Rotary clubs, trying to find interesting comments or stories that are going on. And I feel it's sort of healthy sharing of active clubs. I really follow the Australian clubs. There's some exciting stuff going on there. So if there's anything that's appropriate, I'll share it onto our page so that the people who are following us can see what's going on.
Bringing Rotary together. Todd's got his hand up.
Oh, Todd, yes.
Yes, thank you. I kind of lost service for just a few moments, and I didn't know if you brought it up, but there is a way to actually feed your Facebook page onto your DACdb website.
So to go from Facebook to DACdb.
So everything that you do on Facebook, there's a little widget that can appear on your website. And it takes a little bit of manipulation and a little bit of know-how. But if anyone's interested in that, we made that social media toolkit, and we've got the instructions for that available on that. It's a little more intense than putting it on, on this meeting today, but you can actually put a feed. We've got that on our website where anything we put on Facebook automatically shows up on our homepage of our website.
Yeah, that would actually be really great information, Todd. Like just for example, with our Mother's Day Rose post, like we did this on Facebook and I also had done it on the web page. So if that could go back from Facebook to our website, that would be fabulous.
How about the
I'll
Instagram?
send it
Oh.
to you, Ainsley, and then you can have that, play with it, and then maybe broadcast it to others if you like.
Yeah, that's great. Thanks, Todd.
You betcha.
So, Ainsley, so if you look, I can see the Facebook page.
Yeah.
But how about on the Instagram?
Oh yeah, so Instagram, that one, it's not, I don't have it linked to the to the website, but it is certainly linked to our Facebook page here. So if we see this little camera thing down here, that's Instagram. So I can just click on anyone that views our Facebook page, which right now, where is the numbers? We had, oh, it's probably because I'm on the administrator mode, but I think we have 730 followers right now on our Facebook stuff. So any one of those people can go and click onto our Instagram and it's going to pull up Instagram. Now, for those of us who are over 40, Instagram is not really used that regularly. 40 and under, all they live and breathe about is Instagram.
That's true.
Yeah. And what they're Instagram people, they're scrollers. All they want is a photo and maybe one sentence. They don't want to hear, they don't want to see multiple things. They want to look at one thing. So this is where if we're doing public events, like we did our shredded event, I always try to get a really good group photo and then have a positive comment about it. So it's really just a one and done and people like it and then you move on, right? But it's trying to get a different audience. I'd say the people that are following us on Instagram, so there's 488, they're probably not following us on Facebook. It's different users. Yeah. And the one thing that I was doing on Instagram for a bit, trying to attract other people to come and check out meetings, was having an upcoming speaker bulletin. And then if you wanted to boost it, you could boost it. So a boost is technically a paid ad, which means when anyone is on Instagram in a targeted area, that they'll get an ad that pops up saying that we've got an upcoming speaker, and then they could reach out to the club if they were interested in joining us.
You get a good response to that?
We did have 2 actually come to our Special Olympics group, which was great. Part of it, they were interested in volunteering for the Special Olympics, but it also tied them into us. So now I've got them as potential prospects. So doing anything you can to try and cross-pollinate is a good thing. Yeah. Yeah, so that's sort of Instagram. It's really just photos. And you could do advertising. Like we had our Shred It and Forget It event. Peggy, I'm pretty sure you guys had done, did you do advertising for the international dinner on Instagram?
Did we, Sheila? I don't think we did it on Instagram. I don't
It
think so.
might have been, it might have fed through Facebook into Instagram because they're owned by the same company. So ads will share through, but accounts might not necessarily. Yeah.
So all those things you just showed us that were on Instagram that were duplicate, were they duplicates of the Facebook, but without the story?
That's right.
And so it automatically happens. You don't have to do it.
No, it all happened automatically. I have to show this one because this is one of my favorite little things. Like, come on, let's have a little humor. Yeah. So that's Instagram and Facebook. I find I go through in spurts when I'm active on Facebook, but we try to have 2 posts a week on it, try to stay up to date. If we do events, we're definitely using Facebook. I'm in my administrator part here. Let me
Are you
just
doing it all yourself, Ainsley? All that stuff?
Karen Bennett and I are doing this together. which is great because quite often we'll get questions through Facebook, and I'm not always ready to reply to an email, but Karen is pretty quick at that. And for instance, the picture of this little one is actually Karen Bennett's granddaughter. So that was a post that Karen put on, and that was of our instruments that we did at Lakeside Park. So we're trying to get different voices because, again, it's just like the newsletter. You can't have the same person constantly providing content because you put a certain slant on the club, which isn't necessarily what the club represents, right?
Dependency on one person's never good. It leaves you vulnerable.
Yeah. Oh, we've got more followers than I thought we did. Awesome.
So Ainsley, events, are events posted as Facebook events, or are they just general postings?
Yeah, I'm gonna go down here because I'm just showing here. There's the more function and events, and I'll just show you what we've got here. So right now we've got the Canada Day event. I'll be doing a boost on this on the weekend where it's going to broadcast to the more general public. So technically we had 23 people respond to that. And there's ways to promote your event within the events. If I go to my past events, that will show a little bit more. So our Mother's Day Rose fundraisers, we've only ever, since COVID, we've only sold our roses online. So it's all through Facebook or through the newspaper. So using events there helped us to do that. The highway cleanup, this was actually how we attracted 2 new members last year. We had posted the highway cleanup event and they contacted us asking if they could join, and they joined and they were thrilled with being able to give back locally. So they're super active new members in the club. So that was a great boost that we got by having actual events posted on Facebook. Yeah, and then the other one, that's a co-club, one of both the Nelson clubs, was the burger and a beverage fundraiser. And that was a way for people to be able to go in and actually click on the Eventbrite. Let's click on there, and it would have had the Eventbrite link at one point, so people could buy tickets directly through Facebook on Eventbrite. So, yeah, so that's Facebook. Yeah. Anyone with questions about Facebook or Instagram?
I have, but I'm so embarrassed and ashamed.
Yeah, no worries.
Okay, so I don't use Facebook, but I know that we have a NACASP communicator Facebook.
Yeah.
And if we post anything like an event, it will be very effective to do it. Yeah. So so we can connect with that page and post. How do you do that?
To create the event?
So no, so you have to have your own Facebook page yourself in order for you to post.
So to be an administrator on a community Facebook page, you do have to have your own access, your own account, but technically maybe you don't have to do anything on Facebook with it other than the fact that you're there to be able to get into your club account.
Oh, okay. So club has to have its own.
Yeah.
account.
Do you guys have a club? Or do you have a Facebook page?
Yes, we do.
Well, I hope I'm friends with you on there. Let's take a look. I'm pretty sure I've liked some of your, I'm following you. So I'm already, let's take a look. There we go. There's the group. Yeah. And have you guys done any events on here? Let's take a look.
We're not very diligent about updating Facebook.
Yeah. The events too, like if you post them on Facebook, you can also share those events through some of the local Facebook pages, like Nelson, BC you can multi-post to that. So it's not just to your Facebook followers, it's going to be to the Nelson BC followers as well. So that's a way to boost yourself without having to pay for it. Yeah. Any other questions about Facebook or Instagram? Okay. Any questions about anything else that we've gone over? I feel like there was a lot of content here.
I think we have to try things out.
Play with it.
Yes. I agree, Mayumi, for sure. Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing here somehow. Stop share, then I can see every one of you again. Yeah, so really it's trial and error, then using the guides if you want to start with, trial and error, figuring out what works with your club. I would definitely recommend 2 or 3 people who you want to get sort of set up with some of the website, the DACdb, social media, just because it is so integrated. You don't want to be duplicating your time by having different people doing it. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much, Ainsley.
Of course. Of course. I
Yeah,
talked longer than I
just,
wanted to talk.
Super valuable.
Thanks, Andy.
Yeah.
You're forcing us to look at everything we do and how we do it, you know?
Okay, good. And if there's any questions, just shoot me an email. I've got my contact. I'll send everything to Mayumi and the links to the DACdb stuff for the training sessions, just so everyone knows exactly where it's at. Todd, you're going to send me that information on how to get Facebook to my website.
Yes, when I get back home,
No problem. I'm not going to work
I'll
on
get
it
it to you
tonight.
this
So
week. Yeah,
You should pull over and do it now, Todd.
I'll stop. I've got it queued up. I'm happy to do that, but
Awesome.
I think it'll be fine.
yeah, awesome. Sheila. Oh, you're on mute.
Yeah. So I have a question because obviously there's a couple of people on here who are not on DACdb. And so my question is really directed to Case because I know he was the best ambassador for DACdb. And Case, I was just wondering if you could give 3 points that you feel where DACdb is superior to Facebook or to Club Runner.
One of them is that DACdb is integrated. So I think Peggy talked about the financial situation in their club, and it was similar in our club where we had different treasurers using different programs, yada, yada, yada. Our records are a huge mess, and we decided as a club that January 1 of 2021, or sorry, July 1, we would forget the old financial stuff and begin with the finance module. And our current treasurer is Andy Gabb, and he's been continuing on, and everything's in the cloud. It's in DACdb. All the records are there. So that, and then integrated with the website, integrated with news bulletins, and so on and so forth. So that's number one. The second is, if you're a Club Runner club and you go into DACdb, you'll notice that the speed at which you can manipulate through DACdb is much faster than Club Runner. And the third one, for any club still on Club Runner, the district's gone to DACdb, and 50 clubs have gone to DACdb. So, you know, there's nothing that says you have to switch to DACdb, but what it does mean is that not only do you, if you're on Club Runner, that you need to enter data on Club Runner to let RI know, but then you also still need, as a secretary, to go into DACdb at the district level to let the district know what changes have been made in your club. So it's double entry if you stay on Club Runner. Unless you don't care about the district and whether they know anything about your club or not. I hope that's not the case.
I'd like to. Can I add one on that too? Is there's a function called RI compare, where all of your member information is in there. It's also club compare as well. And you hit a button and it does an automatic comparison on information that's in DACdb versus what's in Rotary International's My Rotary page. And in moments, you can go through and find out if someone's got maybe they changed their address or something. You can tell if it's accurate or inaccurate. And I see this on a lot of clubs that don't do this, even if they have DACdb, that aren't doing the RI there. But with Club Runner, things are way off. There's multiple members that haven't even been out of or DACdb, if it's used properly, it really does integrate super with that process. It's very easy to do. People get that with Club Runner.
Yeah, and I've worked actually today with both Nelson clubs using RI Connect or RI Compare to help them make sure that their invoices are accurate for July the 1st.
I think we should get a discount in Canada because there's some features we don't have.
You know what you should do is submit a support ticket and let DACdb know.
Yeah, because the more of us that bring up the question, they'll have to do something about it.
It was two things. It was the collection of money, but what was the other thing you mentioned that we don't have? Forget what it was now.
Payment gateway.
Payment gateway, yeah. So it just that's it. It covers everything. That term, yeah.
And they also need to address districts that are international like ours.
Yeah.
In much more. And DACdb really was, it got its start in the States. And it's now working its way slowly into Canada. 5060 is thinking of switching. 5010 Alaska has just switched to DACdb. When I was started off as the registrar for pets, we had 7 districts on Club Runner, 3 on DACdb. With Alaska joining, we now have 7 districts on DACdb and 3 on Club Runner. They've had such tremendous growth. And I guess the 5th point to make about DACdb is the support system. With Club Runner, sometimes you have to wait 24 or 48 hours before you get a response. You can submit support tickets, you can phone them, you can email DACdb, and they are really responsive. And if they aren't, you need to let them know.
Yeah, just to echo Casey's comments, as a user, I found the support has been fantastic. I mean, I get very, very fast response. But I was never a Club Runner user, but the accounting in DACdb is very straightforward, very simple and easy to use. And I think the other thing is, I don't know about Club Runner, but DACdb has been built specifically for Rotary. So everything we do is reflected in DACdb, the way we do it. So it's kind of automated the processes that we have already, rather than compromising by using some generalized package. So that makes it really straightforward.
Excellent. Well, any other comments or questions that we might have, you guys?
Where do you go to find the DACdb training?
I can send you the link, Allison. I got your email.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you bet. You bet. So I do want to thank Mayumi for putting this all together, making sure we're all here. And I appreciate everyone taking time out of their busy lives to sit here for an hour or so and talk about DACdb and some of the integration that is available for social media.
I'm not sure if it was Wayne that said it, but I think what you've done is forced us to take a look at what we do compared to what you have done and are doing.
So what I'm going to do is to create an article for the club website, and then direct it to Club Bulletin, Facebook, and so on, and see with a photo and see how that would work.
Excellent. And this session has been recorded, so I'll make sure that it gets to Mayumi as well, and the links to all the DACdb training spots, so then Mayumi can blast it out. Okay.
Thank you so much, Ainsley.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ainsley.
Thanks,
Thank you,
everyone.
Mayumi.
Thanks, Ainsley.
Have a great night.
You too.